Hello and welcome to Sales Management Mastery Online at salesmanagementmastery.com. And we're here to help you and your sales managers build a team of highly motivated elite salespeople using easy-to-use real-world leadership techniques and tactics that'll unleash a flood of new sales for your sales organization. On this week's episode of Sales Management Mastery, we're going to talk about what's in it for you to placing deposits in the trust account, plus 3 proven methods to establish trust with your salespeople so you can drive your company's sales revenues. And I'd like to remind you that if you'd like to get a jump start on creating your own team of supercharged salespeople using our proven system, you can claim your free test drive of the Sales Management Mastery Academy by going to salestraininggift.com. And today we're going to talk to you about the sheer importance of why this is such a critical part of your overall sales management strategy. Whether or not you're a new sales manager, whether you're a tenured sales manager, or whether you're a business owner listening to this who has a bunch of sales managers who report to you, or VP of sales, a CEO, establishing trust with your frontline salespeople is a tremendously important part of not only good sales leadership, but also great sales motivation. And everything sort of flows from it. And that's why we're talking about it here, because it's the first thing that you need to do is either to establish that trust or reestablish it. And in this week's show, we're going to give you 3 specific techniques or 3 proven techniques that will allow you to not only reestablish, but establish trust so that you can drive your company's sales revenue. And our real goal here, like we had said in our last week's show, is to really give you some honest, straightforward techniques and strategies that really do work. And everything that we're going to be talking about on this show, it really comes back to this basic foundation of trust. I mean, think about you're sort of building this house, and trust is sort of that foundation. You can't really build the house and start laying, putting up the walls or doing any other work onto the house unless you actually have a strong foundation first. So you got to dig it out, you got to build it, you got to pour the foundation, and that's really what the trust account is all about. So today we're going to give you, like we said, 3 tactics to use in order to establish that trust. But whether you're an old sales manager or a new sales manager or any other person that is involved in a sales organization, it's extremely critical for you to establish that trust so that they don't tune you out and tune you into your message, which we'll be getting into in later shows. So you've probably been asking yourself, what are these trust account deposits actually going to do for me, at least for right now? And that's quite all right, because when I first learned this whole concept and then refined it through years of being a sales manager and being a frontline sales manager, just like either your sales managers are or you are, is that it was a relatively new concept, because I thought as soon as I became a sales manager, all I would need to do is just start dictating and telling people exactly what to do. And I failed miserably, and it was just one of the worst 6 months of my life, because I realized that people don't listen to you because of what you tell them. They only listen to you because how it resonates with them. And that message that you're giving to your sales reps, whether it's a leadership message, a management message, a motivational message, only resonates with them if they trust you enough to listen in and to tune in to you. And we're going to talk a lot about tuning into the right frequency with your salespeople and those sorts of things in later shows. But it turns out that producing great sales results has everything to do with trust. What stands out to you most when somebody mentions the word trust account? It's that first word. It's that first word, which is trust. And trust is one sole element that just can't be absent in a relationship between anyone, whether it's a relationship that you have in your personal life or in your business life, but especially between a sales manager and the sales rep. Because sales reps, and if you've been a sales rep and have sort of worked your way through the ranks, or you started in sales and now you're in a higher position and you own your own company, you know that as a sales rep, you wanted to do things on your own. You wanted to do things your own way. And you always sort of felt like you had the best sort of answers to most of the questions. The best sales reps are open to other suggestions, but in order to be open to those suggestions, they realize those suggestions have to come from a credible and trustworthy source. And that's what we're trying to establish here. So, as the saying goes, trust is the glue that binds people together in groups, because it's that thing that holds us together. And if you've ever had friends or business associates that you all of a sudden couldn't trust, or they breached your trust, you really didn't either want to do business with them or you started to tune them out. So it's sort of a fragile balance as a sales manager and as a management professional to make sure that you're always putting deposits in the trust account and you're not making any big nasty withdrawals. Because trust is hard to earn, it's easy to lose, and when it's lost, it's nearly impossible to regain. And that's the reality of human interaction. So we're going to be careful not to make large withdrawals from that trust account and constantly making steady deposits instead. So forming a relationship built on trust allows your sales reps to act so that the rules of the game aren't constantly changing too. If they know that your message is going to be consistent and they trust what you have to say, then they know that there's some stability in what you're saying and what you're doing, meaning that your actions are consistent or congruent with what your words are. And if those two things are off for any reason, if your actions are different than what you're saying, then you end up losing trust. And when you have consistent actions with consistent words that you're dictating to your salespeople, it encourages peace of mind. And when your sales reps have peace of mind, they become willing to exert extra effort and place themselves on the line for you and for the team and for the organization in general. So peace of mind is very, very important, and that's why establishing trust, one of the many reasons why establishing trust is so critical. So first establish trust, then reinforce that trust by looking for the smallest opportunities to make deposits into those trust accounts. And there's lots of ways to do it, and praising them for a job well done is one way to do it, but there's many, many ways that you can do this. And the beauty of it is that when you're making these deposits in the trust account, you're also doing another thing at the same time. You're also motivating. And we're going to talk a lot about motivating in this show series and in this podcast. But specifically, trust has a foundation of motivation. And if your sales reps don't trust you, and you're constantly sort of making withdrawals or taking withdrawals from that trust account, then your motivational powers are greatly reduced. However, if you're consistently enhancing that trust, then your motivational powers as a leader are greatly enhanced. So it really is sort of a parallel concept to motivation, and we'll be talking about that a lot. And also another thing to keep in mind when you're talking about trust and establishing trust with salespeople is to always treat your people, your sales reps, or if you're listening to this and you're going to be having your sales managers listen to it, make sure that your sales managers treat your sales reps as the end unto themselves. And what this is this separates the men from the boys. Never treat them as a means to an end. They're just a tool for you to get what you want. They are the journey, in essence. They're not the end point. They're not the destination, so to speak.